As much as we might crave for it sometimes, we can't always be on the road, as work, family, and other responsibilities glues us back to a sedentary lifestyle. Fortunately for us, many talented artists manage to encapsulate elements of traveling into their work, allowing us, in a way, to enjoy some media traveling. If you ask what's the appeal of the video game Beyond Good and Evil, you might get a myriad of different answers. Answers such as the variety in the gameplay, the compelling story, or the colorful aesthetics. However, if you ask me, all those aspects coexist mostly to draw your attention towards the game's true star, the setting. The action of Beyond Good and Evil takes place mostly on the planet of Elis, a distant planet from our own where humans live alongside a variety of different hybrid species, like Eagleman, Sharkman, or Pigman, just to name a few. This, of course, displays a certain diversity in terms of the morphology of the inhabitants of Elis. But what's perhaps more noteworthy is the diversity in cultures. In the span of just a few minutes, you might get your overcraft fixed by a family of Jamaican hybrid rhino men right before heading down to the Venice-inspired downtown in order to hear some haikus by a Chinese walrus man. In other words, there is a richness and a diversity to the game's world, elements that make the world feel more alive. This could be enough to make the player feel like they're traveling, as getting in contact with different cultures can be a major appeal of such an activity. However, it's not impossible to imagine this aspect going over many players' head. It's a good thing then that the developers found a way to diminish the chance of a hit happening.
They're coming! Quick, Ven, jump up!
The protagonist of the story is Jade, a freelance journalist searching for the truth behind a potential conspiracy. As a journalist, her most powerful weapon is her camera, which allows her to take evidence of her discoveries and then expose them to the public. However, this is not the only job that Jade takes on during your playthrough.
Listen to this. The director, Senora from the Science Center, wants a collection of all the animals on the planet. She pay you dinero for any photo you send with little animal on it. Mira, that beast, for example. You take picture of it and tenga mucho units. Even your perro interests them.
Even though this is not mandatory to get to the end of the story, the developers highly incentivize you to take this job seriously by rewarding you with a lot of money. Money that Jade desperately needs at the beginning. This is interesting for the player as well, as it is shown clearly to be the most reliable and important source of income they can benefit from, therefore being the best way to afford new items, helping them on their journey. This is one of the smartest decisions that the team at Ubisoft Montpellier has made. Allow me to explain why. Because of that financial incentive, players are early on extrinsically motivated to look around and pay attention to their environment in order to find new species to photograph. Species which are very colorful, varied, and well animated, sometimes with some clear behavioral tendencies. Oh, and by the way, do you remember all those hybrids I talked about earlier? Yeah, you need to take pictures of those as well. This activity essentially draws the player's focus towards what makes the planet of Elis so alive. Maybe even more than that. Maybe towards what makes the planet of Elis so beautiful. A beauty that you might realize is present in even the most unlikely of places. But what I find especially interesting is that this process does not seem automatic. In the case of Beyond Good and Evil, I doubt the world of Elis would have stayed with me nearly as much if the game didn't incentivize me to look around the way it did. Take the same game, but leave out the species inventory job and it might have been much less memorable. In the same vein, have you ever talked to a local about something you found very beautiful or interesting about their homeland, just to hear them say something along the lines of, "Huh, I never saw it like that." There is probably a multitude of reasons that can explain such a phenomenon. However, if you ask me, an important one might come from the particular state of mind we might be in when we are traveling. Indeed, not constrained by the same demands, a traveler might find themselves more inclined to take their time, look around, and pay attention.
Don't consume the game like, you know, play it, and then throw the game, because we put a lot of detail in the game. I would say take your time, you know, and pay attention. There's a lot of things for you, a lot of detail, and a lot of surprise if you pay attention at the things. A lot of creatures and people you can talk to, and a lot of things to see. And so in a world where everyone must do things very quickly, it's cool sometimes to, you know, you put on the console and you just take your hovercraft on the sea, looking at the sunset, and you know, it's cool. I would say take your time.
Going back to Beyond Good and Evil, you might realize that Jade keeps getting more and more involved in the issues she's covering as the game progresses. Or maybe not. Maybe that might seem natural, since you, the player, are also getting more and more involved. You see, as the game progresses, you will be exposed to a decreasing number of new species to marvel at, and because of that, your attention might shift towards the threats of this world's beauty. The plural is important here, as Elis is not only regularly attacked by external alien forces, but might suffer from potential internal threats as well. Potential threats characterized by the Iris network, accused by the military of taking terroristic actions, and the same military accused by the aforementioned Iris network of conspiring with the aliens. From that point on, the player might, just like Jade, feel compelled to search for the truth and stop what is threatening this world, which is still so full of beauty. That process of paying attention, finding the beauty, and protecting said beauty is one reason why you should travel. And if you can't right now, just play Beyond Good and Evil.